Good morning, everyone. My name is Marissa Paglino, and I'm really excited to be sharing my proposal with you. So this is a grant proposal for resourcing students with post-traumatic stress disorder, otherwise known as PTSD. So I'm applying to this grant on behalf of Southeastern University, and Southeastern University is a private Christian university up in Lakeland in Central Florida, and really the mission statement of Southeastern University is to equip students to discover and develop their divine design to serve Christ and the world through spirit-empowered life, learning, and leadership. And part of that is resourcing our communities and really just intervening in whatever needs we see and really stepping in and filling gaps in our own personal communities as well. So what is the problem? Really what the problem is in Miami-Dade County public schools is that there are students who are diagnosed with PTSD, but yet they are not receiving the type of resourcing or accommodations that they need. There are students who receive accommodations for things like learning disabilities, or having English as their second language. However, there are students who are diagnosed with a very specific disorder known as PTSD that do not receive the type of resourcing that they need. So here's some statistics from the Veterans Affairs branch of our federal government. So it says that 3% to 15% of girls and 1% to 6% of boys who have experienced a trauma develop PTSD. So annually, Child Protective Services, or in Florida, it's known as DCF, Department of Children and Families. They receive approximately 3 million reports each year, and those 3 million reports are out of the 5.5 million children in the United States. However, out of the reports that are filed, there are only 30% that are reported with evidence. In addition to that, 3 to 10 million children witness domestic violence annually, while the majority of cases they go unreported. So it's about 2/3 of the cases go unreported. And again, this is according to the Veterans Affairs branch of our government. So with that, right, so understanding that PTSD is actually a pretty common and widespread issue among youth and teens in our communities, it's definitely something that is worth investigating. So what are the benefits of implementing this program? There are students who are not having their academic needs met, so their social needs will also be met throughout the 24-25 school year. Areas of implementation will also be created, so whether that be meeting their needs academically, so giving them assistance in the classroom, or meeting their needs socially. So that would look like teaching self-regulation techniques, healthy relationships, and things like that. And it will also be taught to school faculty and staff as well. So really the purpose of this project is to resource the students, again, like I said, both academically and socially. But additionally, as mentioned earlier, students who are diagnosed with PTSD just really don't have the resources within their schools to get what they need. So whether that be, guidance that they're not receiving at home on how to regulate your emotions, how to manage your anger, and things like that, really just to prevent them from getting in things like fights or just in trouble in the classroom and such. They just don't have that type of systematic sustainability for their students. And same thing goes for academics. So if they don't have that piece of paper that says, hey, this student has a diagnosed quote unquote learning disability, they aren't able to receive those academic accommodations as well. Even though PTSD is very similar to a lot of other learning disabilities because it affects the same areas of your brain, these students are kind of falling through the cracks. So the goals of this project are to, again, a lot of this is meeting needs, to meet the needs of the students who are selected and diagnosed within these schools by the end of the school year. So again, both academic and socially, and within the schools to create areas of implementation for student academic and mental health resources among the staffing throughout the school year. And in doing that, it will create a systematic resource plan. Even though schools are different, each school has different needs, different populations, especially here in Miami-Dade County. But that will be established through meeting with students, understanding and identifying whatever it is that they need, and then using third-party resources, best practices in order to create something that is long-term and sustainable for each school on an individual basis. So how do we do it? What is the plan? So as far as our project activities go, we would start by selecting and screening participating MDCPS high schools. So schools that are in target areas where maybe we see a spike in reports, that would be a conversation for the district officials to identify what schools would have the highest need. Then we would train the selected school personnel in mental health first aid. So again, best practice usage here, letting people know how to really just practice what to do in crisis situations, specifically around mental health. And then work with school counselors to identify students with PTSD. So again, these students would have to be diagnosed in order for this process to work, and really just for the studies/project activities to take most effect. Then after the students are selected, our team will create individualized resource plans for the selected students. So maybe the focus will be primarily on a social need, less academic, or higher academic, low social, or maybe they just need more emphasis on both. That's what those individual resource plans will look like. And then throughout the rest of the school year, we will be measuring student progress throughout the year after the onset of intervention. And then finally, we will create and compile findings and present them to stakeholders, again, to create that long-term self-efficacy for the intervention plans. So first phase is to, again, identify and prepare the MDCPS schools for intervention, and that will take place from March to July. So the ending of the 2023-2024 school year and throughout the summer and going into the 2024-2025 year. Then the second phase will be meeting with students to create intervention plans. And then again, identifying the students that their needs need to be met, meeting with them on a one-on-one basis, identifying their areas of weakness, and then going from there. And that'll be throughout the first semester of the school year. So again, August through January. And then the final phase will be evaluating the intervention and reporting the findings. So that would be, the evaluation would occur throughout the second half of the school year, and then again for the entire year remaining, in order to really just compile the findings and then make sure that schools are set up for success for the long term. So again, like I said, evaluation will occur throughout the duration of the project. And again, at the conclusion, students will be continuously monitored and checked in on to measure project progress and see how well they're doing. And again, that will take place using both quantitative and qualitative data. So again, not only are we measuring start to finish in, increase or decrease in healthy or unhealthy behaviors, but we're also gathering their perceptions as well. So for project personnel, we have laid out $100,000 in order to resource all of the people that we need in order to make this project happen. So that goes from, on the back end, compiling the data and all of those people. School personnel is $21,000. So that would be people who are participating in the project, and that would include their compensation for training and also for their time, creating resources and things like that. And then again, we have set aside $54,000 for resourcing. So this would include all the third-party areas, the professionals, and this would include resourcing families beyond whatever the school has the capacity to serve. So that money would go towards long-term therapy, whether that be outpatient, inpatient, and things like that for the families of the participants. And then other services, we've set aside $10,000. So the total cost would be $185,000. And that is all. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.